Hello everybody, this is Shane Armandro. You're in the passenger seat with me. It is Passenger Seat Radio. It is Thursday, of course. I'm in the office, or went to the office today, August 22nd, 2024, and I am on my 13-mile commute home. Welcome to the show. Actually, I'm stopping by the pharmacy, so we're going to get a few extra minutes of show, which, you know, everybody likes having a few extra minutes of show, right? So I've got all sorts of great stuff to talk about. In fact, I've got such a long list, I don't think I'm going to get through it all. And that's okay, though, because I'll have stuff to talk about next time. So let me tell you about this morning. So my schedule on Thursdays is all fucked up, right? So typically speaking, what happens is, just give you a little morning ritual here. So typically speaking, my wife is up at like 3:45 or maybe 4:30, right? She gets ready or goes and works out, goes to the gym, whatever, right? Whatever. And then she comes back or she goes straight to work. Either way, on non-Thursdays, I'm awake about 6:45. I roll out of bed. I go get the computer turned on, log into work. Of course, I don't get to drink coffee now, and I'll tell you more about that in a minute in the morning. But yeah, so 6:45 when I am working from home, which is great. On Thursdays, I'm up at 6. So if my wife happens to be there later, right? Maybe she's not going to work out today, this morning. So instead of getting up at 3:45 and being out the door in 15 minutes, she gets up and she does laundry and she turns the TV on and she gets her shower and she's there. And, you know, it's hard to sleep through that. I mean, I doze in and out. But when she's up and gone, I can drop right back off, you know. And so I can sleep until like 6:45, except for on Thursdays when I got to wake up at 6. So it all depends on how things work out. Well, this morning was one of the days where she got up later. She kicked around for a while, right? And then she left. I don't know if she was working out or not. I wasn't even looking at the clock. All I know is I wanted to go back to sleep. Lights out, TV off, nothing. I wanted to sleep. So she left. Then I woke up and I went into the bathroom. And running around in the bathroom was our dead cat. Yeah, I'm talking some real fucking church shit from Pet Sematary. Wasn't like evil, but it looked like it had clawed its way out of the ground, right? And this was the cat, the white cat, the one that lived in the movie nook for a couple of years before she got really sick and died. We put her to sleep. So she wasn't buried, but here she was running around the bathroom this morning. And I'm like, holy shit, nobody's going to fucking believe this. So I ran and got my camera because I needed photos. I needed pictures. I needed proof, right? I knew this was our cat, not some stray that had gotten in the house or something. I took a bunch of pictures, like picture after picture after picture, because you know what? Hey now, Flair, because you know how it is. If something's crazy and you're trying to get a picture of it, like the first 10 you take, you don't get the fucking picture because you're all spun up. So I took as many as I could. And then all of a sudden I woke up. Again. I woke up and my wife came into the bedroom. And I'm like, you're not going to fucking believe what just happened. I was dreaming that our dead cat was running around in the bathroom and I was taking pictures of it. And she's like, that's fucking crazy. And I'm like, yeah. Right? And then she's like, well, I better get out of here. And so I was going to go back. So she left. I was going to fall back asleep. And this disembodied voice next to the bed started saying, hello, 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 hello. And I woke up again. Yes, again. I was so fucking Inception this morning. I was down like 3 layers deep of Inception. I was dreaming about dreaming about dreaming. What the fuck? And I'll tell you what, nothing is more disorienting. I know people that say that they dream in their dreams. I've only had it maybe happen once. I figure maybe that's tied to some weird ass fucking astral projection shit or something, right? But in this case, I was 2 layers in. I was dreaming about the dead cat in the bathroom. And I'll tell you what, when you wake up for the fourth fucking time this morning, you're kind of going, fuck, am I even really awake? Is everything real? Is this real? So then it's like you're waiting for a fucking dead cat to walk out. You're waiting for somebody to start talking to your ass. You're waiting for something. So I got in the shower, a little bit freaked out. I'm not going to lie to you. I was a little freaked out. Got in the shower, sat there with the water running on me for 5 or 6 minutes. And finally, my brain just sort of locked in and says, okay, this is real. You're not in a dream within the dream within the dream again. It was the craziest shit ever. So weird. Anyway, so that was my morning. Happy Thursday. Got to go to work, asshole. But first you need to dream about a dead cat, then dream about telling your wife about the dead cat. And then actually waking up and telling everybody else about telling your wife about the dream about the dead cat. Good stuff. Unbelievable. Anywho, so that was my morning. So the other thing that I've been meaning to talk about, and listener Chad's good friend of the show, my good friend, lives in Colorado. You might have heard me talking about the 13th floor stories for the hotel he put me up in. Anyway, so Chad keeps nagging me to watch this Aliens movie. It's a documentary. It's called Aliens Expanded. Aliens Expanded. It's by the same people that make all these cool In Search of Darkness and all these other documentaries. And this thing is like 4.5 hours long. So I've been using it as my captive audience show while I'm on the ARC Trainer. Because then I'm guaranteed to watch it, right? If I want to really pay attention to a show or a movie, I watch it on the ARC Trainer because I have nothing else to do but watch that show. So I've been chewing through that 30, 35 minutes at a time on the ARC Trainer. And that can take you a couple of weeks when you've got a 4.5, 5 hour documentary to watch. So I finally got through it all. And I'm a big Aliens fan. Not so much of Alien. I understand it was the first. It was more scary. Blah, 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 blah. It's Ridley Scott. Blah, blah, blah. But I'm really a big fan of Aliens. And I love the ensemble cast of Aliens. So I was eager to watch it. I just didn't get around to starting it because I knew I was going to have to take it in pieces. Well, I'm proud to say that I finished it finally, and it's really good. Totally worth your time if you can chunk it up. There are logical breakpoints throughout the show, almost like they were planned for commercial breaks. I mean, it doesn't do that weird thing where it fades to black and then fades back in, but there are definitely points during the documentary where you can say, oh, stop right here. Okay, I'll come back to this tomorrow night. Really good. They had James Cameron there. They had most of the primaries. Of course, Bill Paxton isn't amongst us, but Michael Biehn. They had almost all the Marines were there. All the Space Marines were there. They had, of course, Sigourney Weaver, which I thought was a big get for them. I mean, well, Jim Cameron for that matter. But my good friend Jim Cameron. So they were all there. And, you know, Cameron wasn't as pretentious as he oftentimes is when he's in these documentaries. He was pretty cool, laid back. There was tons of behind-the-scenes shit, tons of alternative scene shit, everything you'd want. And the entire movie is dissected top to bottom, front to back, but in a very entertaining way. Lots of, like I said, lots of set stories. Vasquez, who doesn't look anything at all like Vasquez, and she hasn't for a long time. Interesting note here, Vasquez is also the stepmom in Terminator 2. I would have never put those two as the same person. She looks a lot more like the stepmom in Terminator 2 than she does Vasquez. She almost looks like a totally different person. But anyway, I digress. You also had Cameron's wife at the time. Her name suddenly eludes me. But she was an executive producer on the movie, and of course his wife at the time. And she had a lot of interesting stories to tell. Lance Henriksen, right, who played Bishop, he's there. So it's really great. I don't know how much longer Lance is going to be with us. So you see him at a con or something, you might want to go say hi to him. He's looking a little rough. Marbles are all there. but he's still looking a little rough. But yeah, great stories, you know. Essentially, I'll share one with you so you get an idea as to some of this behind the scenes shit that you get. So, primary shooting, most of the shooting was done in the UK, right? In the United Kingdom. Sound stages there, whatever. And so Lance Henriksen, once he knew they were going to do the thing with the knife where they pull Bill Paxton's hand down and he rattles the knife in between the fingers, right? Once he knew that he was going to be doing that, he went and got this huge knife collection. I'm talking like every possible knife that Jim Cameron might have wanted to see, right? So he practiced hundreds of hours with each one of these knives so that he could become very proficient at it, right? And as it turns out, so I don't want to get ahead of the story. So what happens is they're all flying in from the United States into the UK. And the knives, of course, are all contraband. Like, customs will put you in jail if you show up with a suitcase full of fucking knives. That's how it works. And he had a whole suitcase like of 100 knives that he'd taken with him to let Jim Cameron pick the one that he wanted Bishop to use for the movie. So he's standing in line at customs, apparently, and he's sweating bullets. And the Cameron's wife at the time, I wish I could remember her name, it's just not coming to me. She rushes to the airport, manages to juice up a little bit with the custom agents, and they ignored in quotes, right? Air bunnies. They ignored that particular suitcase. So he did not get busted, which would have fucked everything over, right? He got to jail. And they managed to get all the knives that he had been working with in there. And it turns out that Paxton wasn't supposed to have his hand under Bishop's hand. That was all done like ad hoc. The guy that was holding his hand and Lance Henriksen talked about it before the scene and said, dude, when I get ready to do it, just grab his hand and I'll slam my hand over it. You hold it there so he doesn't move it. So that look on Paxton's face is probably legit. I mean, that's great stuff. I mean, that's the sort of thing that's in this documentary. Huge fan. Definitely worth your time if you have an opportunity to see it. I highly, highly recommend it. All right, let me see what we got going on here. Let me put my cruise on. So I'm going to have to grab my phone. Let me see what else I got in here. I want to make sure that I cover stuff that's timely. Dead Cat Dream. Let's see. Aliens Expanded. Okay, so I got a couple more things we can talk about. Let me put the chat back up here. All right, perfect. So why can't I drink coffee in the morning? I was going to get back to that. I'm glad I managed to circle back. So I've been doing some research, right? And I found out that one possible way of weight loss and overall wellness is to consider doing something called intermittent fasting, right? Now, I like my food and I like to eat, and I like to eat on a regular basis, right? So I didn't think fasting would be a thing for me. But I was doing some research, right? And they have different types of fasting. There are people that fast 1 day a week. There are people that have certain time frames for fasting. So what I'm doing is called the 16-8 method. That means 16 hours a day you're fasting. And you have an 8-hour eating window. Now, why I think this is going to be effective is, so my hours of operation are, my hours of eating, I should say, are 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. After that, no more food. Before that, no food. So when I wake up in the morning, no coffee, no yogurt with oatmeal and blueberries, right? I don't get to eat till 10 o'clock. And at that point in time, it basically becomes lunch. So you're skipping a meal. Now, my morning meal is usually under 400 calories. And then I end up having dinner, a couple of snacks. And then I'm off limits at 6, right? So that's a long fucking time to go without food. It doesn't sound long. It's 16 hours, no problem. Yeah, well, I know when 10 a.m. is. Believe me, I'm watching that fucking clock from about 9 o'clock until 10 o'clock. Every fucking second I'm watching, going, is it 10 o'clock yet? Is it 10 o'clock yet? Is it 10 o'clock yet? I need to eat. So that's why I do not roll out of bed and drink my coffee now. Now, what I can have is water, which completely sucks. And I can have iced tea. But it has to be unsweetened iced tea, which is okay. Listen, at least I get a little caffeine boost, and it's something that's not water. But I also did some more research, and this will probably turn out to be wrong. So I was trying to figure out how I could drink something other than water for that whole time period that I can't eat. And it turns out that there are certain types of artificial sweeteners that do not spike your blood sugar. And one of them is Splenda. Well, it just so happens I've got a big fucking box of Splenda packets in the closet. So now, instead of having nasty ass unsweetened tea in the morning, I can throw in a packet of Splenda, and at least it makes it, palatable to drink the tea. And unfortunately, it upsets my stomach a little bit, but it's a small price to pay to be able to stay awake in the morning. Let's see, how much time do I have here? It's closing in. Okay, we'll talk about this other thing. So, obviously I'm a physical media collector. We've been talking about this a lot. I've got DVDs, Blu-rays, 4Ks, 3D movies. I've got CDs, video games. I've got a lot of physical media, folks, a lot. And obviously, if you're going to continue to build your library, you need to know what you've got. So back in the old days, this will take you way back, some of you, I used something called DVD Profiler, which was neat because you could enter barcodes and it would look it up the movie for you and add it to this database. Now, the neat thing is it could import a sheet of barcodes, right? And then it would add them to the system if they recognize the barcodes. So what I ended up doing, and I still have this, by the way, I still have this little barcode reader that has 8K of memory or something in it. I can literally take this little scanner and just go to each movie and scan the UPC. Beep, 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 and then dump that text file through a USB cable. Pretty fucking cool, right? And then I could import that barcode list into DVD Profiler, and of course one would come up and say, well, I couldn't find this one, or I couldn't find that one. You have to enter those manually. So those were the old days. So now when you want to do collection stuff, right? Whether it be comic books, vinyl, CDs, movies, whatever, there's only a handful of what I would call top-notch tools for the job. Unfortunately, most of them are subscription services. You'll never stop paying them. And you know me, I'm not a fan of subscription service. I don't like paying every month, right? So I tried a couple of tools. I tried this tool. I tried that tool. Just nothing's good enough. I mean, it's just not good enough. DVD Profiler, along with this scanning device, was pretty cool. It even had some online updating stuff, but it went away. So I ended up falling into, so I tried a whole bunch of stuff, and I landed on the Collectors with a Z collection software. Now, these guys are as modular as fuck. Every tool that they have, and they have a lot of them, they have a tool for almost everything you'd want to collect. Each one's going to cost you $2.99 a month or $50 a year for each one. Now, they do offer, that you get the online database. You're sitting at Goodwill, you find a CD, you bring up your interface, and you can tell right away whether you got the CD. It's nice, but it is, and they have a great web display, right? They really put some time and effort into the filtering and the ordering and everything else. It's really a beautiful web interface. And I spend a lot of my time sitting at my desk scanning movies in from my desktop. And they have a mobile phone app, which is, you could figure, would be the natural progression. So literally, I whip out my phone, I run this CLZ Berry app, and it brings up a window, and I can just sit and scan. Scan barcode, scan barcode, scan barcode, scan barcode, scan barcode, send. And that sends it right into the web interface. It's really fucking cool. But $2.99 a month per collection. So if I want to collect movies and music, that's two different products, right? Sucks. If you want to collect books or action figures or whatever it is you want to collect, and they've got a bunch of them, then you're going to have to pay for each one. That sucks. I hate that. I hate paying every month for something like that. Anyway, so my friend Javier, which we've talked about, friend of the show, probably listening maybe even right now, he's rebuilding his physical media collection after foolishly squandering all of his physical media back when he thought, streaming and shit was going to be the bomb, right? A lot of people did it. Can't blame him. I've helped him rebuild his collection. I've sent him a bunch of duplicates and stuff like that. He's hitting Goodwill more than I am, looking for music and movies. He's getting quite a collection. So he needed a tool. And I said, well, dude, I'll tell you what I use. It's this collector's shit, but it's going to cost you, yearly or every month. It sucks. But it's a great tool. And so he's like, I'll find something else, right? Because his needs are not as great as mine. But he does collect music. He does collect movies. He does collect multiple things. So he went checking out a few things, and he couldn't, he had some trouble finding what he wanted. And then he landed on this tool called iCollect, little I, big collect, right? And it has apps for Android as well as iOS, which is kind of cool if you happen to have a mixed, blended family, right? So to speak. And so it's literally an all-in-one tool. But, there's always a but. But each one is modular. So you pay like $9 a piece or something for every module you want to unlock. So if you want movies, $10. If you want CDs, another $10. But here's the thing. It's a one-time purchase and it's yours. No $2.99 a month, no $60 a year. Right? You're going, hey, okay. Well, listen, so if I want to do movies and DVDs, right, that's $20, lifetime, forever, right? It's like, okay, well, shit, that sounds like a good deal. But then, wait. Then they offer you another. Maybe it was $15 a piece. I don't remember. Anyway, then they offer you a deal for like $50. It unlocks all of them. So your current, past, present, and future collector needs are all covered by this tool. So it's starting to sound like a great deal, right? I mean, so you pay $50. Well, I think it was $60. I think it was $59.99. First off, I've never paid $60 for a mobile app. There's something so wrong about paying $60 for a mobile app. I balk at paying $4.99 for a mobile app. You know what I'm saying? It's bad. But true. So I'm looking at this thing, and they give you a trial. You can input like 30 items total, and then you have to pay, right? So I'm looking at it, and it seems to be fairly solid, and he loves it. Javier loves it. And I'm like, okay. And so I end up finding a secret page on their website. Because you're such a good customer, we're going to let you unlock everything for $50, so $10 less. I'm thinking, oh shit, I got a good deal. Took a couple days for him to turn it on, but it did work, and I did get it. So then I started doing my massive stuff of reading in all my CDs and all my DVDs and my Blu-rays. And it also has a barcode reader, and you can scan in bulk. But the second it finds a duplicate or a problem, it halts you at the door. Whereas before, with collectors, you would just go beep, 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 and scan 10 discs right then and there, hit the send button, and then you would mitigate on the front end on your web browser. You'd mitigate, okay, well, it doesn't know what that one is. So you look over at your stack. The last one it got was, I don't know, Trying to think of a name. Beverly Hills Cop 2, right? So the next one that it didn't, then the next one that it got was this, and the one in the middle is the one that it didn't get, right? So it's pretty straightforward. But halting when you're trying to scan en masse kind of sucks. There was some times when it would say, well, we don't know what this is. And you're going, what the fuck? And then you like dust off the barcode and you scan it again. And then it says, oh, this is already in your collection. You're going, dude, you just told me that you couldn't read it. Now all of a sudden you're saying it is in my collection and I'm already good. So it's not perfect. You get a basic web interface that you can share. So you can go to Goodwill and bring it up. It's very, very, very non-feature rich. And the web will not allow you to filter on formats, which is dumb. It's got a drop down for it, but it's broken. It doesn't work. So I'm hoping that'll get fixed. Now, here's where then the money grab continues, right? If you want to use your computer, you want to use an app for your computer on the web, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, you have to upgrade to Pro. And Pro is $60 a year. We're right back where we were. And you're paying every year. And they will give you the web interface as part of that, along with priority support. Yeah, whatever. Priority support my ass, $60. So I did not go for that. And I can't believe for a second that their web app is anywhere near Collector's caliber, especially since their basic one doesn't work for shit. It's barely functional. So anyway, so I am evaluating that. Maybe if you have used this tool, maybe you've used the web app, maybe it's worth $60 a year. I doubt it, but listen, hope springs eternal and all that. All right, I got to get into the pharmacy. They have weird hours at this location now, so I better get in there before they close. They might close at 5. So hope you enjoyed the show. This is Shane R. Monroe, Pastor C Radio, saying we'll see you next time. Take care, everybody.